I'm sure most of you guys have noticed and been paying attention that uh, white people still are killing black people with reckless abandon. Uh, there's a story that came out here late, maybe a week or two ago. Florida woman, black mother who knocked on this white woman's door, and the white woman shot her.
A neighborhood feud ended in tragedy when Ajike Owens was shot and killed in front of her son Friday in Ocala, Florida. The 35-year-old was struck in the upper chest by a bullet shot through the front door from a gun allegedly belonging to 58-year-old Susan Lorincz.
I wish our shooter would have called us instead of taking actions into her own hands.
But on Friday night, after Owens' children were playing outside and approached Lorincz about an iPad they left behind, law enforcement says Lorincz yelled at the kids and threw a roller skate at them, leading Owens to confront Lorincz at her door. Police say Lorincz pulled the trigger, shooting and killing the mother of four.
So we want to ensure that we get the facts right, especially in a case to this level.
Police opened up an investigation, but waited 4 days to charge the shooter. The delay in arrest sparking protests throughout the community. Attorneys for the victim's family issued a statement following Tuesday's arrest, saying they're relieved, but they are no less concerned that accountability has taken this long because archaic laws like stand your ground exist.
Uh, in this instance, a white woman got angry with some black children for black children being children.
Children. Yep.
And black mother doing what black mothers have done since white people have begun to harass black
Protecting and
children,
advocating for their babies. Just
advocating for their babies. And with that advocation, this mother, our sister AJ Owens, was murdered.
This has got to be one of the saddest stories, and that says a lot. One of the saddest stories that we've heard recently. And mind you, we just not too long ago reported
Yep,
on Brother Yarl, the
yep.
young 16-year-old boy that was shot in the head by someone because he dared to knock on the wrong door. I think one of my biggest takeaways from this is that once again, it appears as though without the outcry from the community, that this woman would have never been charged or arrested. Because
Yep.
once again, the police came, they questioned her, but she was not arrested. She was allowed to go back home, and she was there for a day or two before they finally said they were going to place charges on her to arrest her. I think one of the hardest parts for me to swallow is the fact that not only was she shot and killed through the door without interaction, without provocation, but that
Yep.
her young 10-year-old son, who called on his mom to help be his advocate, was there and watched her be shot and ultimately die. And I could only imagine what that young man is feeling.
Yeah.
That if he hadn't have called his mom or told his mom what had happened, that she would still, she possibly could still
Still be
be
alive.
there.
He's gonna live with that
And
forever.
he's got to eat that. And they've been doing interviews with the kids because I think the ages range from 6 to 12, and the middle child is the 10-year-old child. And at least the reports have been that he's been unconsolable.
It's unimaginable, but incredibly tragic. I just don't know what compels a person um, who who could not possibly forget that there are children in the vicinity to pull a firearm and just blast blindly through your door. Um, the sheriff seems fairly, it seems forthcoming in this situation. I would say, according to
After the
the,
fact, yeah.
he seems very forthcoming, and he also seems unusually helpless. He even admitted that he did not even agree with the laws that that he had to enforce, but he had to enforce them, unfortunately. So there is some humanity there, which was a grain of hope there in this horrible situation. But at least the woman was charged. I don't think they're going to. I don't think that the outcry and the attention, the media attention. She's definitely going to get punished severely for this. We can only hope that but mostly I really feel for those children.
Yeah.
They lost their mother they lost their mother, and when their mom was just trying
To be a mom.
be a mom, she was just being a mom, and this woman just took that away from them.
And she refused. Mind you, she didn't look through the door. She didn't peep. And the lady was knocking there for some time. But just for some clarity, man, or for clarification's sake, the sheriff did come out after they had arrested this woman and said that this was not a justified shooting, that she had no reason whatsoever to fire at her, and that they questioned her, and basically, at least the way he makes it seem, is that they gave her the rope and she essentially hung herself. Basically explaining that it wasn't because she was provoked, it wasn't because she feared for her life. All of those things that we typically hear when a situation like this comes up.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Now,
I'm surprised I did not hear that phrase in this situation.
Yeah.
I fear for my life.
And the sheriff did make sure to say that this does not fall under stand your ground whatsoever.
Oh,
so those are the things. Those are the things that we.
Okay.
So these are the things that we're hearing now.
For again, when we think of the American idea of justice within the criminal law enforcement carceral system ideology, people are arrested and thrown in jail not just because of the crimes they commit, but to also prevent other people from committing those same crimes in the future. Be a deterrent, right? That's one of the reasons why we had all of these crazy ass laws.
That's why the death penalty is where it is. Because
to be a deterrent. None of these arrests and convictions and jail times of white terrorists have done anything, right?
I give it to you. I give it to you, man.
It's literally just taking a different form now. It's not even before. It was literally, and that was one of the arguments that many of us in the community made. That as long as police officers were able to get away with these heinous crimes, you were emboldening everyday white citizens to take that same type of vigilante mindset on themselves. And what have we seen in the past couple of years is an uptake of what? White vigilantism.
Yep.
But also with the people who are doing the organizing, what we're seeing is it's not enough, right? It's not enough to be reactive to when they're killing us. It's time now for us to be, or continue to be, proactive. And it's such a huge fight because in this particular case, what could the community have done to prevent this sister?
That's what I was going to ask you. That's
what did they fight? Like what angle? Like what platform did they fight in this instance? I mean, is it the idea that you own guns in your home? Is it the idea
even if she had a gun in her home, it wouldn't have cost her. I mean, she wouldn't have been alive, right?
Yeah.
It's and again, the conversation that I think most people are afraid to have is for most people in this world, the most dangerous place to be is proximity to whiteness.
It's because they said that this apparently there's been dozens upon dozens of calls made to the police because of interactions between these two women. So this has been something that's been ongoing or had been ongoing for some time or whatever. Yeah. And boiling over and boiling and boiling. And you can't ride the subway. You can't ring on the wrong door. You can't protect your children. It's becoming very exhausting, my guy. It's becoming very exhausting.